Okay, all right, guys. Welcome to Crispy Licks. This is where we talk about the licks that Chris does. That's me. So here we go. We're gonna go with something real easy today, right? So I'm gonna start on the. I'll move up closer even for you, right? So we got the 12th fret pentatonic here, right? You know, so we got 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15. And then if you know the extended one, which is really your G major pentatonic shape, it's the same as that. If you don't understand that, you could just know this right here, right? 15th fret, the 7th, so 15th, the 17th, 14 to 17, 14 to 17, 14 to 16, 15 to 17, 15 to 17 again. Right? So I'm going to be using those extra notes and even some from the next shape, right? Which would be, is kind of easy because then that's just 15, 19, 15, 19, 15, 19, then 16, 19, then 17, 20, then 17, 19 again, right? So... All right, but anyway, so here we go, right? So we got some E stuff. So say you're playing, you know, E minor, the best, key God ever made for guitar, right? So we got that, and now we got to put some cool licks into it. So you got your normal, right? Your normal kind of pentatonic licks like that, right? But say you want to be a little more flashy, you get a little more of that, maybe like 80s kind of vibe like that or something like that. One thing you can do is you can do a lot with this scale, especially if you get your finger strength going really good. Even if you just have your pointer, your middle, and your ring finger, and the pinky's the last one to develop, but the more you use it, then the more it'll be functional. So anyway, cool one I always use, right? So say if you're playing over the direct E chord, a great note to hit would be an E. So if you don't know this, when you get down on your pentatonic scale onto the B string, that 12, 15, when you bend up that 15, you probably heard a couple songs start out with that, with a solo, something to that degree. And that's because that's bending up to an E note. Right? So you're bending up to the chord that you're playing under, or the key at least you're playing under, right? So, but what you really want, what I want to show you in this is that, you can use those notes. That's just, hammer on. Right? And you see how I'm just, and it might take a little bit for you to get your finger strength up with those if you're not there yet, but that you can practice on with, anywhere up and down the guitar. But if you're used to practicing just hammer on and pull offs down here, playing up higher, not even the 12th here, but even going up even higher is really good, because you're going to hit different parts of the muscles in your fingers, and that'll really help out. But so anyway, we'll get to some tapping here now too with it, right? So say you start out your solo. Right, so that was a pretty cool one I did right there, right? So I'm just hammering on and pulling off that 15, 12, and then I'm going to tap the 17. Now, if you want to get a little spicy with it, you can tap it, right? And look at that, I'm going sliding back, right? So I'm going to 18 and then sliding back to 17, then pulling off. and that's usually when I'll make a change, is right after that little that little extra note there, right? So I'll have. Right, so you see how I did that there? I'm just using hammer-ons and pull-offs, and then using tapping to combine with it. Right, especially if you know the blues version of the scale, that'll really help out, because you can use those extra, that flat 5 or sharp 4, whatever way you want to look at it, that extra. Now, if you don't know that this extra note in the blues scale, usually you just see it as 1/4, 1/4, and then 1, 2, 3 chromatic. But you can use your octave trick, right? And you see, okay, that note's here too. That's what that 15 is on the G. If I'm going, say, from the high E string down to the G, I can go. 12, 15, 12. Right, but then you can even use it to go down like that, just right down. And Eddie did that a lot. He would just go, just do a pattern like your first finger, second, third, and just go all the way down like. Right, and then just end it, even though all those notes aren't in particularly one scale, but 80% of them are, right? And that's one of the great examples of, say, breaking the rules of music, but still being able to, use theory in a beneficial way, and break the rules and get away with it. That's why guys like him were great, because they didn't just, go by that. They went by, the ear, what sounded good. And depending what chord you're playing over, that can really make that difference of that sound. And you don't even have to know the chord. You could just do it by ear. If it sounds good or you like it, it's good, so stick with that. But before it gets too dark and I can't show you much more, I want to get down with this, right? So say you're just hammering on, you're at the bottom of this pentatonic, right? I'm tapping that 17. And when you tap and you pull off, I'm not just going like, I'm pulling down, hammering on and then pulling off down. So the motion is on and then down. So let me do it on a higher string. So you can see if I was on a P. Here I'm really exaggerating it. So you can see how I'm like pulling it off. That's how you get that nice crisp snap with it, and it makes it sound really fluid. Right, so and you see I just did it all the way down the scale, right? So you can do the same thing. It's just with tapping it, and then you can even go up another step, and then you can even do that little thing I showed you from before. Just going up one little fret. Right, so those are also little tricks you can do with it, and that's just using your position 1 pentatonic, right? And then your neck, I forget what number they may have this position. Sometimes they have that main as position 1, or they'll have it as 3 or something. It depends whose version of this you're looking at. But if you Google pentatonic scale on Google and go to images, you'll find all these shapes right there. And you could just look at these shapes. What I would advise is look at these shapes and then see, all right, well, what notes, where are the, think of those as all the legal notes, right? The notes that I can play, and it shouldn't make stuff sound bad, right? Especially if you're in a minor key, right? So say you wanted, you had this here. Right, but then you got tired, you know, you want to make it a little different sound, you know, you can move it back, right? Think of your A string root pentatonic, right? So it'd be like 7, 10, 7, 9, 7, 9, 8, 10, 9, 10, right? And from there, right, if you slide up, then you have your 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 9, 12, the 10, 12, 10, 12, right? And that right there is a great spot. And then you can skip kind of the one in between here, this 12, 15, right? And I'm just going to tap the first position, the major position here, right, up here, and I'm going to tap behind the regular position 1, right? So that should be like position 5, it should be called, and then your major position, right? And you can get a really... You know, as long as you end it on like an E, you know, you kind of can't go wrong. Or if you think of the chords in E minor, right, which would be E, G, F sharp, you know, if you end it with one of those chord or notes, it should work fine as well. Even if you're not landing on an E minor chord. But if you are landing on an E minor chord, it definitely will work. But it'll work with a lot of the other notes in the key because you're all playing these legal notes. And this is an easy way to do it. And say if you don't got that skill yet to like just hammer on and pull off, just build it up. You can just sit here and just practice that. You can watch TV and do it. Hell, I tell my students that all the time. Then move it up. Right? And then, you know, because it can be mindless, that's more like the physical, I wouldn't want to say technique as much, but more just the physical aspect of guitar. And if you have your hammer-ons and pull-offs really good, they can really help you cheat a lot, you know, or not even really cheat, just because you work them up good, so they can really help with guitar solos and lead playing in general. You know, you want to have strong fingers that can just hammer on and pull off without having to pick every note. Eddie does this, and I think it's the Spanish fly lick, where he hits it once with the pick and then hammers on and then picks the rest. So it's like, yeah. So that's a good way to practice. All right, and you can see sometimes I'm hitting harmonics with it, where I'm just, you know, flicking the flesh of my thumb there, you know, through, you know, on the string. You know, get that little... And sometimes I want it like that kind of, you know, slight pinch harmonic, or sometimes I might want like Zakk Wylde squeal, like... And those usually take more vibrato, and, you know, and really flicking it and hitting it hard. And there's going to be a sweet spot up and down on each guitar. But these are all little things that'll really make your playing, you know, kind of diverse when you can hammer on and pull off and tap and then also use those pinch harmonics too. And then if you got a whammy bar, even better, right? Right, and that was just a little arpeggio I did there, from a B minor, and I put a G in the root. And just because you're using a natural minor doesn't mean you can't go back to pentatonic. You can use them interchangeably. Start a run where you're maybe starting out, natural minor, and then end it pentatonic. Sorry. All right. So this is just, a little bit of ideas. I hope it helps out. Try that out and let me know in the comments what you think, if you think this is helpful. And if not, what else I could add that would make it a little more helpful, or what I could explain. I had to do this video quick because the daylight's burning here. So, just let me know. And I love you guys. And, like and subscribe. Really, really appreciate that. Helps a lot. All right. Thanks.